Understanding some remedy of the carbon group. Below are some experience with the remedy from the carbon group. As you have seen, the list of carbon remedies is extensive, and so far I have used only a very few of them in practice that I will share. For a comprehensive elaboration of the subject, the reader is referred to my book Carbon by Dr. Roger Morrison. Carbo vegetables. Case of the carbo vegetables. Here I would like to illustrate a very old case of mine seen in 1996. It is a case of a boy around 10 years who was admitted in the homeopathic hospital with a high temperature and weakness. His blood tests showed that he had typhoid fever. He went down quite rapidly, and when I showed him in the hospital, he was hardly able to talk. His energy was very low, and so was his appetite. He was quite dull and sleepy most of the time. So, on inquiry from the parents, his history was that the boy had been reprimanded strongly by his teacher for not taking a particular book to the class. He became quite dull after his incident, and the fever started soon after. At some point in the fever, he became somewhat delirious and said that he could see the wall of his room collapsing and on him, and also another time he could see how angel fanning him. What is interesting is that the boy in his nature is quite dull and was having difficulty in studying. He was withdrawing and get bad grades in the school. A reference to the repertory revealed the rubric delusion, imaginations, walls falling inward. The delusion, the lack of reactions, made the choice of carboveg easily or easier. Now, one aim of carboveg was produce a quick response, and much to my own surprise, the boy literally walked out of the hospital after 3 days. An interesting postscript is that after this incident, the boy showed drastic improvement in his scholastic performance and in his dullness, and became quite a good student. He was so dull in his studies that previously I had given him Barata Carb without much success from this withdrawn, shy, and very poor performance and lack of comprehensions. But after Carbovage, it was unbelievable change observed. And now, after like around 10 years, he has cleared his 12th with very good percentages, and he wants to take up engineering. And earlier, even to take him from one class to another was a struggle. Here he forget to mention that this delusion of what angel is fanning means carbo which need a fan, right? Okay. Next one is Adams, diamond. Property of Adams. I read at Adams. Okay. The name diamond is derived from the Greek word adamas, and which means invisible, which was probably applied by the Greek to any hard stone. Meaning of invisible means unbeatable, incapable of being defeated or beaten as a result of great strength or skill. Number 2, too difficult to overcome, so great difficult as to be impossible to overcome. And number 3, deep rooted, too deep rooted or ingrained to be altered. Diamonds occur in various forms, including the diamond proper, a crystalline gemstone, bought, balas, carbonates. It is a precious stone that is extremely hard and tough. It has the property of crystal of splitting along definite planes. Brilliant diamonds have a high index of refractions. Both the index of refraction and the dispersions, the physical property that determine luster and the fire, as a higher for diamonds than for any other natural transparent colorless stone. Uncut diamonds have greasy luster and are not brilliant, but when cut, the same stone exhibit a higher luster and characterized technically as a adamantine. I don't know I pronounced right or not, but adamantine. 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 Yes, they are excellent conductor of the heat and are cold to touch. They are resistant to attack by acids or bases, and a tremendous amount of heat and the pressure are required for the crystallization of the carbon into this form. Expert of the experts of adamas proving by Jeremy Sher, Dr. Jeremy Sher. Okay, cloudy versus clarity. These are the symptom of adamas. Cloudy versus clarity. Needs air. There is a need to be outdoors. Air hunger is a part of the carbon. Want to be left alone. Want to be hibernate and forget the world. I felt separate from my friends. I felt outside, detached, separate, and disconnected. Distant feeling, remote feeling, detached from myself. Feeling connected to people, in contact with people. Feeling disconnected and distant from the everything. I didn't feel the need to get involved or detach and not touching the world. Now, in which comment by Dr. Rajan Shankaran is the main feeling is in the diamond is to be detached and disconnected and feeling of hard and cold. Also from the symptom, exceptionally strong desire to leave my children to the live clear and unmuddied. I feel more connected than usual with my children. I was determined to help them recognize and free themselves from family pattern, to be themselves. I understood they have a feeling of being independent. It's a feeling of being more complete. Now the case of adamas from Luridak, name of doctor. Case of 48 years old woman with the chief complaint of Graves' disease, which is an autoimmune disease, hyperthyroidism. Initially consultation done in 2002. Now there is a dialogue. Patient's narrative history. Patient said, I started to lose my weight. I'm not able to sleep. I can't relax enough to rest. The heart is beating hard. I can hear and feel it everywhere. The beat extends down into the ground, which is shaking. There is no equilibrium. I'm losing weight even though I am eating well. I am irritable, impatient. I can feel the pressure behind my eyes, like these are bulging out. Feeling I am going all the time, going, getting nowhere. Pressurized, not able to slow down, just keep going, not being able to sleep. Constant hard hitting of the heart, reverberate and everything. It's just strange. Busy dreams at night and I don't feel I can rest. I can't think clearly. I tired and yet I'm going and it is hard to slow down. Not getting anything accomplished. So much to do and I can't focus. I haven't slept for a month. My stomach is in a knot. Pressure all the time. I feel hot and close. Is it the beginning of the menopause? Skipped a few periods also, so I don't know. Okay, this is another one of these things you just deal with. If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. I must be getting extremely strong. People talk as if there is a transformation with the menopause. So I was encouraged. It was a part of my natural process. But after 5 months of not sleeping, losing weight, and so much pressure all the time, and the shaking of my whole frame, I was worried about not being able to sustain my life. Too much for me, so I went to the doctor. Thyroid overproducing medications and radioactive iodine were suggested. I see the doctor's logic as a seriously flawed, and isn't there something to restore equilibrium, optimum functioning, sorry. I asked for something like do something. Huh. I am not managing the things I need to. Not focused enough to complete things. No energy to even begin simple things. I just can't bring myself to pick up to the basket. I know it needs to be done. I feel so incapable of simple things. I go to the store, come home with the half of what we need, and feel I have done a monumental job. I go to the shop. I have been there 100 times and I don't know where things are. Don't know how to buy things, which direction to go. Mind feels unclear. This is not me. How can I know myself? How I know myself? I'm usually strong, clear, capable of organizing, but having a connection here and there, having an arm, keeping everything functioning. I'm different, things are changing. Now I am exhausted and feel tremendous pressure, not able to sustain our lifestyle. Infrastructure is changing. I am going through something and I don't know what will happen. Felt so unstable. Went to see the doctor. Do many things to keep our life going. Not able to do one fourth of what I used to. Not sleeping make it harder to function. Feel weaker, less substantial. Equilibrium is off. So hot and anxious, pressurized. I am not able to maintain. It affects my life and life of my family too. I am like the surface of the family where everything stands. The connections to all the aspect of our life that keeps everything going. The infrastructure feels unstable. Now doctor asked, describe this infrastructure unstable and pressurized. And she said all the normal support system are there to support me, but I am breaking down and feel under tremendous pressure, confused, exhausted, pressurized, and so much to do with to keep going. I am losing ability to maintain things, losing my way. The equilibrium is gone, and I have strong feeling I am going down under all of this. All these are mineral words. Here is the conclusion. Are the mineral words. I am the infrastructure and I need to be strong because everything is standing on me. The children are great. Life is full. 2 children. Live on beautiful piece of property. Work full time as a civil rights lawyers and getting my PhD. Lots of work to sustain the property. The only way that this can be is that there is a certain framework that everything works within and every facet of our life functions. I feel unstable, scared me. Something is happening to me. I need to be clear and strong to carry on. Now doctor asked, unstable infrastructure changing. What do you mean by that? And she said, such positive time at work. I am being supported to get my PhD response to my work beyond that I have hoped for. Trips have been extremely intense but priceless in terms of value and insight. In Congo especially, nothing works barren, flat and hard environment. So many pressures, nothing grows such a proud, shining, dignifying people. This is shining, dignified people. This is inspiring to me and make me want to carry on. Support has been brilliant. Known these issues are important in our life. Brilliant, and they know these issues are important in our life. If I will go under with all the travel, I am strong enough for all the challenges or not. That is a questions. And doctors say, ask strong enough means what? And she said, pressure is coming from all sides. All the organizations, country, court, and all courts of the family. In some countries, several forces at work, civil rights organizations, and the government, each different force, all coming in on you with a tremendous force. Doctor asked, coming in you with a tremendous force, explain. And she said, it is like when my heart pounds so hard, it feels like it is hitting against my chest and sending seismic reverberations in every direction. Like earth is shifting, like an earthquake. Worse at night, can't stay in a bed, can't lie there, burning up like a furnace. Ground feels like it is moving. Have I done the right things? Did I take the right decision? Is this the right direction? What should I have done? Should I have put the babies into the crib that might? Should I have taken him into my bed? Revisiting different places, dark nights of the soul. Waking in the morning, appreciate family. The kids are becoming quality people, and they are learning good values. I'm tired and stressed out, but the right light of the day seems to help. My husband and I separated 10 years ago. No directions at all. I didn't know if I had a substance to make it on my own. To transform our life into this we have now doesn't seem possible at that time. Such a high quality of life seems rare. I worry I will not be able to sustain, that my energy will crumble. To keep this all require of me to keep my job, which requires such a monumental amount. It is a pressure, tremendous pressure. And doctor asked, what is pressure? And she said, from all sides, it's like being crucible, and the heat is turned up and pressure is increasing. Tremendous force, weight, pressure in. When I lived with my first husband, he was powerful lawyer, domineering, and we did everything his way. Life was easy, no pressure. I had to keep up appearance, but other than that, I could disappear into my own world. It was very familiar, a minor or a mirror of parents' lifestyles. Father was strong and mother maintained life for him. Exactly the same, not aware of anything unfulfilling. I kept everything going, making sure it all linked together, and we had our third child. I put him to the bed one night and he never woke up. It was devastating, and our life cracked and separated the family, our lives, the relationship with my husband, everything. He alternated between blaming me and indifferences, and I went underground. I wasn't anymore. No substance, losing weight, palpitator palpitations, unable to sleep. I would do things but not be able to sustain things, and separated. Now the conclusion is what? All the same symptoms. His business went bankrupt, financial support impossible to depend on. This was pressure from everywhere. Everything had to reconfigure for me to recreate a life. Like coming out a crucible, transformed. There wasn't enough of me able to do what I could require. It was hard being alone with two young children and no support. Never thought I could practice law, have the strength to be lawyer. Got my degree only for my father. He planned it out for me. I had to come up from underground. Slowly the light came back. Sometime I don't recognize myself now. Life took a complete turn. I'm such a different person. Offered a partnership, went back to school, happy with all but unable to handle it. Felt myself going back underground, where to go back in. Now, our doctor asked, like a crucible, energizing, what is this? And he said, like everything is pressing inward, intense heat like a volcano. If I had stayed like my first husband and he had continued to mold and shape me, I wouldn't be who I am today. With the thyroid, I don't know if I can maintain on my own. Maintain my own, relieve our son's days relieved our son's death over and over. Night were dark. I feel so unstable, like withdrawing and going underground again. Doctor asked, crucible, pressure, heat, energy. What is this? And she said, the night are dark, so much pressure all around. I get up and walk around, but it doesn't help. My heart beats hard. I am in a pressure cooker, as if my body can't take it, that my body will crack. Feel I will crack and shatter under the pressure, like a hammer against an anvil, and scared with the amount of force. I don't have the power to maintain the pressures, the heat is too much. And doctor asked, just tell me about this pressure. And she said it's a force from all the sides and compressing, pushing inward. Compressing hammer hits anvil with a force so hard. Everything is compressed and pushed together. The force, the weight of it vibrates into the ground like an earthquake so intense. I can't sustain this kind of pressures. Everything reconfigure. It sounds like a middle, but where on the periodic table? That is the question at that time for me. And doctor asks, not able to maintain pressure so hard. What is this? Explain it. And she said, pressure build up in the pressure cooker. Molten iron is being shaped into the something with pressure. Start as a piece of nothing, heated up. It gets so hot, and then that extreme pressure is there, and the shape and the consistency change into something else. The force and the pressures compress it, change form, reconfigure. Not from solid to liquid, just change shape. It's one thing, certain consistency and pressure comes from everywhere, inside, outside, and the structure change. It is the same thing, but it's look completely different. And doctor asked, describe pressure. And she said it's a weight bearing down from all sides, heavy weight, pushing and pushing. And doctor asked, so tell me more about the pressure, weight, force, and reconfiguration. And she said it's energy pressing in, energy coming from all sides, pushing together, compacting and hard, and it's rearranged inside. It becomes stronger and more precise, like a vise, and the pressure is more and more, and object can't resist the shape anymore. It doesn't crack, it configure differently. It becomes a compact and very strong to maintain the pressure. Pushed into the different shape, it's the same substance, whole different appearance, and it's like a transformed. And doctor asks, get stronger? What's that? And she said, it's a process. Stay with me here, Lurie. About the patient, she wasn't irritated, but rather came on as we can do this. As she moves from the image to image, there is a little anxiety and also excitement. So I see here the energy is rising. And doctor asked, reconfigure, inside, transform. What is this? And she said, it's a responding to the pressure. The pressure is from every direction, and the structure and the shape of the substance changes. It's become something different, but internal component are exactly the same. Just move around. It emerged from this process so strong because it's hard to resist this pressure. Strong, bright, clear. The process changed the whole appearance. So strong, so sharp, the process makes it strong. Remedy was given, adamas 1 m 1 dose. Follow up after the 8th month after the remedy. Doctor asked, how are you? And she said, continuing to do well. I am feeling better. On the way up, my heart is not beating and beating, reverberating and through my whole body, feeling better and feeling in equilibrium. And doctor asked, what is equilibrium? Means what? And she said, pressure is not there, not the force that is it was like I am functioning easily, making connections and going in the right direction. The inner push is there. The inner push is not much there. And doctor asked, what is inner push? And she says, it felt as if things were coming in on me from every direction, pushing me, pressurizing me. The children, our lifestyle with the animals and the property, my PhD, how to keep it all there and going. I am the ground it's operated from, and that inner push was coming from all directions. My main concern was how to sustain our life because of my inner structures felt like under tremendous pressure from everywhere. I am sleeping so much more easily now, and earlier the nights were scary. The dark thoughts and memories would crowd in on me. The pressure was so intense and felt I was going to crack. The night were the darkest, felt I was in a crucible, pressure coming from all sides, and the heat was on feeling of being rearranged internally. My nights are quiet now, there are times when I can feel something building in my chest, and I think the pounding heart is starting again, but it never intensify. I can relax and fall back asleep good, and my weight is stable, my foundation feels stable. Doctors asked what else, anything else, and she said, I feel better. Our lives are going along, all the interfacing I need to do in a day happen. It is a connection is miss the equilibrium doesn't completely fall apart out of my underground. The light is clear, not sure in which direction I will go. I have been offered a job with one of the organizations I was doing my PhD research, and with it would mean I would drop the idea of finishing my dissertations and just go to the work. I am considering the job because I admire the work this organization does so much, and wonderful to be offered this opportunity to work alongside such brilliant colleagues. I would not have considered this offer last year. I felt it was not an option for me. I had to achieve a PhD or I would be fulfilling my potential. I felt so driven to achieve the dissertations, and it means something. It meant something. It means strength and clarity and the ideal. I feel less driven in some ways, less pushed inside, not needing to be the most brilliant, strongest, clearest person. For the first time in a year, maybe in my life, it would be okay to just take a job and do something meaningful that I enjoy. Doctor asked, tell me more about last push. And she said, I find myself enjoying the horses and horseback riding and walking with the dogs. A sense of ease that isn't connected to anything much really. That is what I mean by less push, less pressure to do things that I thought would be good for our lives. It would be good for the children to have a mother who had achieved a certain education level and who complete her PhD, so they could be proud to have a comfortable lifestyle, and where there was money in bank and quality of life that had travel and entertainment. Questions regarding all of these are coming up. I don't feel like working so hard, uh, and a party I don't feel the pressure. Partly I don't feel the pressure pushing me. I'm enjoying the simple things, and there is a less pressure to move forwards the highest achievement to shine. Will see how things work out, but right now I am feeling contented and plan to wait. Follow up after long time. Those thyroid symptoms dissipated in 5 days with the remedy, and subsequently thyroid tests were all normal within 1 month of the remedy. The first 6 months she follow up monthly with the phone calls. In between, if her symptom seems worse, the remedy was repeated a total of 3 times in the first 8 months, and since then the remedy was repeated twice when the sensation of extreme inner pressure returned. She will come for follow-up consultations every 4 to 6 months, and she continued to do the well. There has been no need for the remedy in the last 1 year and 9th month, and she has been fine now for 2.5 years. Comment by Dr. Rajan Shankar. The question for carbon is, can I sustain independently? Can I sustain on my own? And can I have an independent existence? This was one of the patient's stress area. After separating from her husband, she felt, do I have it in me to sustain on my own? Then she faced very high pressure. She changed form and became hard. She was diamond from the beginning. One side or the other side, the hard side or not. I don't have it in me side. So this is end of the case. Adamas, diamond. This is Dr. Vaishali, and I'm reading from the book Structure, book written by Dr. Rajan Shankaran. Understanding of the road to today's element is carbon. Property of carbon. Carbon is non-metallic chemical element known by the symbol C. The name carbon is derived from the Latin word carbo, means charcoal, which is a material that is composed primarily of carbon. It is a fundamental building block of material in living organism and is important to many industries. Carbon is the only element suitable for building the various molecules that are necessary to sustain the life. Carbon atom form part or all of the backbone for the major molecules of all living things on the earth, including sugar, protein, fats, deoxyribonucleus means DNA, and the molecules that carry the genetic code of living organism. Most organic compounds contain many carbon-hydrogen bond. Some of the other elements that bond to carbon include oxygen, nitrogen, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, sulfur, and the phosphorus. Carbon atom bond with themselves and with other elements to form the largest variety of the molecule structure. Carbon can form more compound than any other elements except hydrogen. Carbon also occurs in nature in nearly pure form as diamond and graphites. It is also the major component of coal, petroleum, asphalt and limestone and many material made by plants and the animal. Many of the material that we use every day contain carbon rich organic compounds. For example, we wear clothes made of organic compound, either natural fiber such as wool, silk or the cotton, or synthetic ones such as nylon or polyester. We construct our houses and furnishing from organic materials such as wood and plastics. We burn carbon rich fossil fuel including gasoline, natural gas and coal for heat and energy. In addition, we use organic compounds as pesticides and medicines, and the foods we eat are also carbon compounds. Now, carbon cycle, ecology. Ecology depicts the cycle of carbon usage as a way that energy flows through the Earth's ecosystem. The basic cycle begins when photosynthesizing the bacteria and plants use carbon dioxide CO2 found in the atmosphere or dissolved in the water. In the atmosphere, carbon exists as a colorless, odorless carbon dioxide gas. Some of the carbon is incorporated in the plant tissue as a carbohydrate, fat and the protein. The rest is returned into the atmosphere or water primarily by the aerobic respiration. Carbon is thus passed on the rest is returned from the atmosphere. One second. Carbon is thus passed on to the herbivores that eat those plants and thereby rearrange and degrade the carbon compound. Much of it is given off as CO2, primarily as a byproduct of aerobic respiration, but some is stored in the animal tissue and is passed on to the carnivorous feeding on the herbivores. Ultimately, all the carbon compounds are broken down by the decompositions and carbon is released as a CO2 to be used again by the plants. Hence, carbon used by all living organisms continuously circulate in the earth ecosystem. Although some carbon is removed from circulation temporarily as a coal, petroleum, fossil fuel, gas, limestone deposit, respiration and photosynthesis balance to keep the amount of atmospheric carbon relatively stable. Now, under heading carbon compound. As you are aware, carbon has multiple forms. Pure carbon has multiple forms like the graphite, coal and diamond, and it forms several inorganic and organic, cyclical and acyclical compound, each with its own quality. A detailed study and expositions of the carbon has been done by Dr. Roger Morrison, and I refer the reader to his comprehensive book Carbon. Now, understanding of the carbon. Here below I wish to share my concept of carbon in general, which apply to all the carbon form and compound. This concept take into the account the position of the carbon in the periodic table, namely in the middle of the row 2, which is about fetal life and the birth process. Carbon is moment of decision of the fetus to be an independent existence, and with that the inherent doubt and fear about its capability to do so or to be so, and it does occupy a very important and central position in the man's development. The ability to have an independent existence has its main quality, the ability to react to circumstances on one's own independently. This vital reactions or its absence is central theme of the carbon remedies. I have expanded on this theme below and give a few examples to show the difference in the expression of the basic theme among some carbon remedies. Carbon is exactly in the middle of row 2 at the stage of separation, which has an alternating state where on one side they feel, can I be on my own or do I need to be still here? And on the other side they feel, I have to let go. Can I let go? For the first time I have to sense, I have to react, and I am on my own. Am I capable of being on my own? That is a question for carbon patient. Carbon represents that stage of development where for the first time one gets a sense of being entity separate from the mother. They are still in the womb, but now they are not more a part of it. Now the time has come where they need to be on their own and react independently. Carbon is the stage where the head of the baby descends further and engage itself. The baby is preparing to leave the womb and need the ability to react independently. Now there is no going back. So the question arises, how will he react to the outside world? The main idea here is vital reaction. The presence of absence of it. Here vital reactions is absent. So for the womb has been their world and their support system, and now they are going into the completely new world alone. So carbon is thus the first substance to feel that he is a separate entity. Now is the time where he has to adapt to the new situation or new. He has to now react for himself. The main carbon symptoms, lack of vital reaction, shows the opposite polarity of such a quality. So it is about sensing and reacting, which is the vital reaction of the person. Where the feeling is this outside going to dull me into no reaction or am I going to react? The basic term is letting go, and does he have the stability and security in his own self, especially in a new and unfamiliar place. It is the state between life and the death, awaken and asleep, familiar and strange, womb and outside, fetus to birth and life to death, where they are letting go of the familiar, yet they want to hold on to something. For example, Carbo is a commonly used remedy for neonatal asphyxia and also for the corpus revival, which means it is useful at the first and then last stage of the life. I found in the repertory several symptoms of the Carbo giving almost the exact image of this stage of the labor process. Example, engagement of the head. Carbo from the Materia Medica, a genuine lack of vital reaction, which is mentioned in the Farrington. Congestion of the head with a spasmodic constriction, nausea and pressure over the eyes, feeling of coryza from overheated rooms, which is mentioned in Herrings. Parturition, labor pain absent, os dilated, membrane protruding, seizing, which is mentioned in the NAR repertory. Now labor pain are ceasing completely, which is mentioned in complete repertory. labor-like pain extending to the bladder and to the sacrum, complete repertory. Now constriction, head pressure of aggravate, which is mentioned in the complete repertory. Constriction heated when? Constriction uncovering head ameliorate. Constriction armor as if in. Constriction band or hoop. Head pain pressing armor as if in. Walls falling inward in arginum nitricum and carbo veg. In both medicine it is found. Startles at night start from the noise or on account of noise, which is mentioned in the complete repertory, which is single rubric. Startle easily at night from noise. Startle easily, complete repertory. Startle frighten from as if. One important feeling in carbon is to be on my own. For example, Calcutta Carb asks, can I protect myself on my own? Barata Carb also feels, can I take responsibility on my own? But when it is, can I take care on my own? Can I look after myself on my own? When it is for every small and trivial things, then it is just carbon. Where they just cannot exist, then it is not specific to any row. It is simply I cannot exist on my own. Simply, I cannot exist on my own. The carbon have to some degree the feeling of restricted, tied, bound, like wanting to be separate, independent, not restricted, but at the same time not wanting to be out of the circle. This is expressed by symptoms like intolerance of tight clothing, ameliorate in open air hunger, suffocations, oppressions, etc. Example of the few rubrics from the complete repertory where the generalities, clothes losing ameliorate, in which ammonium carb, calcea carb and carbohydrate are present. Second, generalities, pressure aggravate, clothes from, in which ammonium carb, calcea carb, carbohydrate and graphite is. Now, generality, air open desire, in which Adam, ammonium carb, barata carb, calcea carb, carbo animalis and carbo vegetabilis. Graphite is kali carb, mac carb, natrum carb, strontium carb, lithium carb. All are in this rubric. Generality, air open ameliorate, and which also the same medicines are there. Now delusion, imaginations, walls falling inward, which is in carbo veg. And next rubric is chest oppression. Medicine are Adam, ammonium carb, barata carb, calcea carb, carbo animalis, carbo vegetabilis. Graphite is kali carb, mac carb, natrum carb, strontium carb, lithium carb. All carbs are mentioned here. Now understanding the alternating state in the carbon. Non-reactive, inert and reactive and hyperreactive. Three types of reactions are there. One is dull, non-reactive, flat and still. On the other side, it is a hyperreactive from very little things. Non-reactive, inert and reactive, simple reaction and then hyperreactive. We can observe this in carbon salt like calcea carb and kali carb, who are very dull, flabby and also very hypersensitive. So on one hand, they can be totally non-reactive, where they don't have an independent existence and are not firmly rooted. They are irresolute, don't have confidence in themselves. The irresolution is strong in the graphite and barata carb. On the other hand, they can be very reactive, like hyperreactive, forming an unstable compound, which can be explosive, aromatic, volatile and combustible, like the element petroleum. They are firmly rooted in the self, have an existence and believe in them. The feeling is be yourself to take the initiative. The opposite state is I cannot do it for myself. In the dullness, there is no initiative to do things on their own. They feel are confused and disoriented. There is no reaction at all. The expression of this state are dull state, like a robot, zombie, no reaction, can barely feel things, anything, vacant feeling, which is normally observed in graphitis, which is an amorphous carbon, has two pictures. One which is described by the Withorcast as dull and slow, and other as I have described in the Soul of Remedy, a turning fork, highly reactive state, which is excited, easily affected by things, anxiety from this or that and this trifle aggravate. It is the reminiscent of the bottle of soda, which is made from the carbonate water. It is still until you cannot open, until you open, sorry, and then there is a fizz and activity, sudden reactivity. These two opposite states of dullness and non-reactivity versus reactivity and hyperreactivity are followed by the complete exhaustion, as if a lot of exhaustion has been done. This we can understand from the following rubric mentioned in the complete repertory, where weakness, anxiety, medicine are ammonium carb, calcium carb, carbo animalis, carbo vegetabilis, and mec carb. Next is heart and circulations, palpitation, heart with anxiety, in which Adam, ammonium carb, baryta carb, calcium carb, carbo veg, graphitis, kalic carb, lithium carb, natrum carb. And next rubric is mind excitement, excitable general, easily, in which Adam and graphitis. Now high energy and hibernation, under the label high energy and hibernation. Carbon has an alternating state of high energy alternating with the inactivity, stagnancy, and hibernation. It is a steady and hibernating and then slowly gets some stimulus, and then it develops an initiative which is enough for him to feel that now I can be stationary, I have to move out. I can't be stationary and I have to move out. To summarize the two alternative states of the carbon, there is a two state, dull, confused, and muddle one side, and second in other side there is a clear. In left side, slow, lethargic, indolent, and right side it is a fast and furious and hurried. Insensitivity, dull sense, and opposite is acute sense. Left side is hibernate and right side is detached and disconnected. Left side is stable and right side is unstable, hyperreactive. Now solely carbonate, CO3. The main theme of carbonate is that there is a no reaction in situation in which they are. It is interesting how in carbonate like calcium carb and magnesium carb, and carbon seems to depend on its partner to provide a specific context. Calcium carb is completely who would like to be protected as if by a shield or by a person who offer him security. They show a kind of dullness and lack of reactivity and independence in the context of calcium situation. So the feeling in calcium carb is I feel insecure and I am not capable of protecting myself, and therefore I simply will remain at home and I will not come out. They feel I want somebody around me, which is typical of carbon, but because they are not capable of protection, it is a calcareum. Now natrum carb wants to be within a relationship where they feel cared for the nourishment, and likewise with other carbonate like baryta carb and strontium carb, also they are within relationship for the care and nourishment. You prescribe a carbonate for a particular element when you see the dullness and lack of reactivity in context to that particular element, and inability to be independent, and almost the feeling like wanting to be in the womb because of the inability to cope with the situation of that particular element. For example, it is well known that when Baraita carp sees a stranger, he would either hide behind the parents or he would cover his face with his finger and peep from the fingers, and almost as if providing himself a shield or a covering from his perceived inability to cope with the situation. The other important characteristic is the lack of energy present in all the carbonate. My main confirmation symptom for carbonate is prominent startling from any unexpected noise. Like startles noise from in which Baraita carp, Calcara carp, Carbo veg, Kali carp, lithium carp, Mec carp, Netrum carp is present. Startle touch aggravate, Kali carp, Mec carp. Starting from the sleep, Carbo animalis, Carbo vegetabilis, ammonium carp, Baraita carp, Kali carp, Mec carp, all carps, petroleum, strontium carp, and borax. Now, carbon, boron, carbon, and nitrogen. Here is a typically chart, or you can say tables are given. We can study in detail. I will send you picture of this chart, right?